What's up, and welcome to another episode of the Invincibly Broken Podcast. As always, I am your host, Orlando, and joined with me to the hip, my brother from another mother, the magnificent Julian. Julian, please say hello.
Hello.
That was a really distressed, long pause, man. I thought this was a new year, new you day.
Believe it or not, I actually had to think about that hello. I was like, is it a hello or is it a hello?
Or like, hi. Like,
hey.
next week, I want you to give him the smolder and then say hi.
Gotcha.
Rapunzel, Tangled reference,
Yeah,
Disney.
Yes.
You have a kid. You know what I'm going with this?
Yes, I do.
Jumanji, maybe?
Whatever. Anyway, so well, it's good to be back, guys. So we are live today for another episode of our Invincibly Broken Podcast. So before we get started, give us a quick like and subscribe to the channel. Give it a share if you'd like. Help us out with the algorithm. Show us some love. We greatly appreciate it. And always, our live episodes, we put them on the podcast and they are aired the following day for your listening pleasure. Simply search Invincibly Broken Podcast on anywhere you listen to podcasts in your life, wherever that may be. Apple, Android, desktops, whatever floats your boat. But today we have a great guest. I'm very excited to have her on the show. She's actually one of our faithful listeners and I guess a fan. I guess you could call it a fan of the podcast. Mm-hmm. She's been listening to our shows a lot. She always gives us feedback and we greatly appreciate it. And we wanted to bring her on the show to chit chat, learn a little bit about her. This is somebody whose values fall in line with the values of the Invincibly Broken team. She's all about a healthy mind, healthy life, having a positive attitude, working hard. She is a wife, a mother. Please welcome to the show, Cynthia Prato. Yay, Cynthia.
Hello.
Hello. Long time
Is that
coming.
A better hello? I didn't do a smolder, but
you should have smoldered. I'm working. Julian's a work in progress. We're trying to get him comfortable. It took me a while to get him comfortable on audio. Now he's on video, and I got to get him comfortable on video. I know it sounds really silly, but we actually have meetings about what we look like on video. Like literally, I'm like, Julian, you need to nod your head, or like people can't listen to you nodding your head. Like, you got to you got to talk and use your Hispanic. Use all your body parts, buddy. Just talk it out. Well, not all the body parts. This is a PG-13 show. Family semi-friendly. But Cynthia, please do us the favor and please introduce yourself to our listeners and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi. Well, thank you for having me on the show, one. And Julian since 6th grade. So probably longer than you, Orlando, maybe.
It is. I definitely don't know him that long. Thank God.
He's always been like this. I don't expect him to change or anything. He's perfect the way he is.
That's right. Thank you.
We were in ROTC together in high school. And after high school, I went and joined the military. I went into the Florida Army National Guard as an interrogator. And I really wanted to be a medic. But my recruiter's like, no.
You're an interrogator.
You're an interrogator. I'm like, well, I don't know. That speaks volumes about myself right there, right?
Uh-huh.
I don't think I needed to go to school, but hey, I went to AIT, became an interrogator, and I think I got activated to go on a mission almost every 3 months. At least felt like that to me. And I was in the National Guard. It's only supposed to be 2 weeks a year, 1 week in a month. And I was always gone. My last mission was in Hungary, and I was there for almost a year. So that was really cool. And when I got back, I said, you know what? My family moved to Arizona. Bye, guys in Florida. I'm going to Arizona. And I landed here in Arizona with my family. And I got out of the military. I now have a career. I am a wife and a mom. And as of last year, online teacher to my
So which is more challenging?
Oh, God.
Interrogator, military interrogator, or being a teacher to an 8-year-old?
Being a teacher to an 8-year-old in second grade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
funny
know what
because
that's
my
like.
husband and I were like, they're doing the math and teaching the math how to do the math that they do in school, and we were like, no, just do 2 plus 5, that equals 7, and we're good.
Yeah,
So you see
I would.
how easy that was?
I would just give my kid a calculator and be like, "This is how everybody else after the age of 17 does math."
Right.
So
my son is like a genius, and he does mental math. Like he does it all mentally in his head. I can't. My husband can, so he got that from my husband. Mentally, like it's taking. I'm like, I need my calculator, and he's like, "It's this, Mom." I'm like, okay.
hey, Cynthia, can you do us a favor? Can you try taking out your AirPods and talking, because you keep breaking up, and I think it's your AirPods. Is that your yeah? Let's see if that helps.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you a lot better now. Thank you.
Oh,
sorry.
Perfect. All right. Sorry.
No, you're okay. I just want to make sure the experience is good for everybody. I was catching all the words, but I don't know how it's going for our guests out there. So you went to the military, National Guard, and you were an interrogator. I didn't even know that was something that you could do in the Army. So, and you said you wanted to be a medic, right?
Medic. Yeah.
So that's a little bit of a S turn there. So how does one become an interrogator in the military? And what the hell do you do? Obviously you interrogate, but what do you do?
I didn't interrogate one single person while I was in.
Mm-hmm.
The irony in that. I was what they called liaison officer, go between. When I went to Hungary, the war in Iraq hadn't started yet.
Okay.
When I was in Hungary, they were actually training Iraqi nationals on the base that I was in, kind of like a super fast basic training.
Okay.
To teach them how to be interpreters for us when we did go into war. So when I was in Hungary, April, I think it was April is when we went to war, and those guys went. But I never interrogated anybody. No
waterboarding. No, none of that.
I don't have any fun stories. I just needed a lot of training.
That's.
I can't even interrogate my husband. He doesn't lie. I mean, he can't for the life of him. He can totally tell when he lies. So it does come in handy sometimes when I'm trying to buy a car. The sales agent is trying to get at me, and I'm like, it's not going to work. This is going to go my way.
So entertain us. What's a skill set that they teach you as a military interrogator?
Well, we learn how to read body language to see if someone is lying, or nervous, or if they're being, honest. And we also learn how to ask questions without asking a question, so I can get your PIN number off your ATM. Things like that. I observe a lot. I observe a lot. If I go to a restaurant or wherever I am, I pretty much know every exit and how many cameras are in an establishment that I'm in.
So that's like some CIA shit. You're like that secret agent.
Secret squirrel. That's what I call myself.
Secret squirrel.
Yeah, I'm very observant. I'm always looking around me, like 360. I know exactly where everything is, and where everyone is wearing. So if something goes down, I already know, what to tell the cops if that leads to it.
It's 0 dark 30 on the weekends.
I'd be like, it was a guy and he ran that way. Actually, I have a really good memory. I talk a lot of shit, but I'm the type of person that would, like, if I saw something go down, I'd be like my grandmother, no sé, no speaking English. I put my hands up, man. I don't want to know anything about it. Unless it's a little kid unless it has something to do with a little kid, I don't care. Adults can kick the shit out of each other all day long. Whatever works. So Cynthia, obviously we follow you on social media and whatnot, and you seem like a very determined individual, and you're very inspiring and very motivating. You're always talking about, keeping up with health, your healthy mind, a healthy lifestyle. Where does that stem from? Like, where is this something that you got from the military, or have you always been like this?
I feel like I've always been this way, but I never really honed it in. Mm-hmm. And it has to do with a lot of people telling me I couldn't do something. So while in the military, being a female, I believe is a little bit harder. You have to show up better. You have to show up stronger. You still have to look feminine. It's, mm-hmm. If you don't look like a girl, whatever. And it's, it's something they always just always tell you. Mm-hmm. You can't do this. You can't do that. You could be this strong, but you can't be that strong. Like, tone it down. And it's like, no, why do I have to tone it down? Why? I don't have to do anything like that, And it always mostly came from the other female soldiers, which is odd. Instead of saying, show up, be strong, be you, it was always like, tone it down a little bit. You're a little too intimidating. I'm like, I'm an interrogator. Duh. This is why you put me here, right? So it comes from a lot of that. It comes from, I had someone in leadership tell me, no, when I said I was moving to Arizona, he's like, no, you're not that kind of person. Why don't you stay here? And I'm like, because I don't want to be in the military anymore. I want to get married and do things on my own. And he said, well, you're not really the marriage kind of material. You're too intimidating. And
this is your leader in the military.
A male, yeah. And it's kind of one of those, hold my beer, watch me.
That's
Don't
crazy.
Tell me I can't do something because I'm gonna do it.
I feel like nothing ceases to amaze me in this world, and I feel like every time I hear about a guy who has the balls to say that to anybody I don't know. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I've said some pretty outlandish things to men and women. I don't care what sexual orientation you are, but like I've said some stuff, but like I don't think I've ever been so blatantly disrespectful to be like, you're not marriage material. You're not gonna Arizona. Who moves to Arizona? Like, I don't know, what do Arizonians look like? I would assume there's somebody out there that looks like Julian in Arizona.
There's plenty of people here that look like Julian in Arizona.
I'm trying to get you involved in the conversation, Julian.
Yeah.
Well, you're all talking, so I'm just saying. I have a question.
Go ahead. Ask the question.
No.
Get in. I didn't have a question.
Listen, just Arizona, okay? Stop.
Oh, this way.
Yeah. So
I've been practicing.
Last year, I even told my husband, I said, you know what? I am done with people telling me what I should and couldn't or wouldn't, shouldn't do. Yeah. Like, that's it. It ends. Not even you're not going to tell me what I can and cannot do anymore. I'm going to do things. I'm going to live my life the way I want to live it. And that's it. And you're going to get used to it. So I set up my boundaries last year. I said, before COVID, I said, that's it. I've had enough. Hey, you should go here because, it's the respectful thing to do and you should represent the family. I'm like, why should I be the one to represent the family? There's like 1,000 people in my family. We're Hispanic. Have them go.
I could definitely. I know Julian has a question, but we could talk about talk about that family shit all the time.
Yeah. So okay. So I'm gonna stop you right there, Cynthia. So we mentioned we go back a very long time. What was the reason why? I mean, I know that your entire family, it wasn't just like you and your husband or your husband to be at that time. You all decided, let's go to Arizona, because just like Orlando said, who the fuck goes to Arizona? Was there a particular reason? Because I know it was the entire family that moved.
Mm-hmm.
And I never actually got around to asking that question. Or was everybody just like, Miami, you can, and it's Miami. Love Miami, but I wouldn't want to live there again. Or just looking for, or an opportunity came up for, one of your parents, or everybody would just said, you know what, Arizona sounds nice, let's go.
Well, my mom's side of the family lives in Miami. So, I mean, we were pretty much raised over there with my mom's side of the family. My dad's side of the family lives here in Arizona. So what happened was that they actually moved like 2 doors down from my dad's mom's, my grandmother's house. They bought a house about 2 doors down from them. So then now we're with my dad's side of the family, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Because we had it a long time. And sometimes it's a good change. And it was a good change. We've been here for, I've been here for what, 17, almost 18 years now.
Good.
And I go back to Miami, but do I want to live there? No. Oh my gosh, no.
I feel like Miami they should dynamite the borders of Miami and let it float out about 100 miles off the south coast of the.
I don't know. I think Miami. I just think Miami should just be a resort city.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't know. Anyway, I'm not even gonna get there because I know I'll get hate mail from somebody wearing white pants in Miami.
Yeah, my grandma still lives over there, and I go visit her, and my uncle still lives over there. But I have a family here now and everything.
So I think it's interesting.
I really love Arizona. So
I think you brought up something that was pretty interesting that I think a lot of us deal with. I personally feel that being Hispanic, I feel that we might deal with it more than other cultures, but that you kind of touched on that respect or have to pay homage to family, because they're just your family. Like this is your great tia that you haven't talked to in 65 years, but you got to go represent the family and go to this birthday party, or you can't not invite that person here because of whatever. And I know that I've dealt with it for a long time, but I always find it interesting when I hear other people deal with it because I'm like, well, is it just me? It can't possibly just be my family.
Nope, it's my family. And it's usually me. And now I'm just
it's true. They always lean on like a person of the family, right? And it's usually a girl.
It's like in every Hispanic family, there's the spokesperson.
Yeah.
That shows face for the whole entire family.
Yeah. I don't, honestly, I think it's really selfish for people to feel that a person is obligated to do anything. Right. Really. And then especially it's a different story. And by all means, I'm live on Facebook, so I'm not talking shit about my family. I love all of them. Mm-hmm. Right. But there's always that. I personally don't feel like I ever need an explanation for what I do, whether it's good or bad, right? Because I know, I've had conversations with my mom. Oh my God, but what is your uncle gonna think? I don't give a fuck what he thinks. At this point now, I'm a grown man. I got 2 kids and a wife. I don't need anybody to tell me if I'm doing something wrong. I air all my dirty laundry on this podcast. At this point, if you don't like it, then you can do something really not nice with it.
And go somewhere else.
But I think it's interesting dynamic. I don't think a lot of cultures. I know there are a lot of cultures. I know the Greek culture is like that also. I know your husband is Greek. I know the Greek culture is like that. I can't think of anything other than Hispanic cultures that are so, especially South America. I feel like South American cultures are really worse than Puerto Ricans and other cultures that I met when it comes to that whole family hierarchy. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, but
I don't know, man. I'm Colombian, but I might as well be Puerto Rican at this point. It's just no. It is, and in many, and you're right. I don't know. I don't know about South America, but at least Central American and South American, yes.
I was Mexicans are
I like that. You have a very specific that pillar of the family, which is usually abuela.
Yeah.
And nothing gets done unless abuela gives you that nod and see mijito, you can do it. You know, that's why you see a lot of mamitis in the Hispanic culture.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I just always like
she's there like, yeah, mamitis.
Yeah.
No, you know, I have a son. So it's funny because my husband, he has a very small family.
That's odd for Greek.
Which is weird because it's only him, his sister, and his dad.
He's a quarter Greek.
A nephew. And that's really it that I see all the time. I didn't meet so I met one of his cousins when I had my son in the hospital because she was a nurse there.
That's crazy. That's really weird because normally Greek families are
huge.
Ginormous. I was sharing before we started the podcast that I have a lot of really good friends who are Greek, and every time, I mean, like these are like super close friends, and every time I go to a birthday party, a wedding, I always see the same faces, but then I feel like there's somebody, oh, this is my Theo, and I'm like, how many? I'm like, man, I thought I had a big family. Like, how do you guys keep multiplying? You know, and then I'll joke around. I'm like, oh, his name's Nick. And he's like, oh, you met him? I'm like, no, but you're all named Nick. You're all like Nick or Gus or George or Stavros, someone in there named Stavros. Like they're all it's all the same thing. It's not that hard. And then I found out why. I guess yeah, you know, like I found I did later on find out it's because they name their children after their grandparents, I believe, and it's a sign of respect instead of naming them after like the parent. So that's why everyone is the same name. I don't whatever, man. But each their own. But it's pretty easy. Like you can, it's like a top 10 list of names for Greek families, and that is it. No creativity pass. Like if you meet somebody named Joe, you're like, oh, my mom wasn't Greek. Yeah. Oh, okay, all right, I get it now.
So he's the small family, and so when he meets my family, he's like, where did this cousin come from? I really don't know, but we're gonna call him my cousin, okay?
my wife always gets Facebook friend requests, and they'll have like my last name, and she's like, hey, do you know who this is? And I'm like, no. She said, she's like, should I accept them? And I'm like, go ahead. She goes, are you friends with them? I'm like, no. I don't know who this person is. And then I got to call my mom, and then my mom will be like,
verify. Oh, you gotta be verified.
I gotta verify. Oh, yeah, that's, you know, that's Nico's third primo, you know, that was married to Isabel. And I'm like, yeah.
Have you guys done like that at Ancestry.com?
No.
Or
yes.
No.
The other one, the Heritage.
The government already has my likeness. They already have. They don't need my DNA. Well, actually, I am a veteran, so I do have my DNA. So
I did do it, and I found it very interesting. So it's really so both of my parents are Puerto Rican. My dad was born on the island, and my mom was born in, I think she was like first generation, born in Brooklyn, New York. And my mom is like translucent white, like the color of my sweatshirt. And my dad is black as a Crayola crayon. Like he's like super dark. And it's really funny because like growing, you know, when we moved down here to the South, like people used to be like, that's your dad? And I'm like, I think so. I mean, I've been calling him Papi for 16 years. I don't know. Like you guys are putting doubt in my head. He goes, but he's really dark. And I'm like, but he's my dad. Like that's who I've been calling. Like, you know, but it's but like I used to always joke around with my dad, you know, because I'm like, well, you know, my dad, because people used to ask if he was black, and he's like, I'm not black. You know, Puerto Ricans right away. You call them anything other than Puerto Rican, they're like, I'm Puerto Rican. But I took my ancestry thing, whatever, right? So I found out that I think I'm 60% European from Spain, right? Is the majority. Then I'm 15% African. So I call my dad. I'm like, I told you it was possible. So 15% African, then like 13% Native American, and then like the rest was like all mishmashes of stuff. So I thought it was pretty cool. I
it
found
was
it
really cool. Yeah. Majority was mine was Nicaraguan, and then Spanish from Spain, and then I am Nigerian.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, we all are. We all are.
And Jewish.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Okay.
Mazel tov. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, who knew?
Yeah. Africa's motherland.
He came back at I think 50% Greek.
And okay.
Italian. So I'm like, okay, you are Greek. Well, we'll go with that.
Was he surprised? What do you mean 50%?
Yeah. What do you mean? He's like, I thought it was football. No, his mom is Polish, and his dad is Italian. Well, Greek Italian. So I was just like, I don't know about this.
But you can't. So you can't qualify. You're not full blown Greek at that point. No. I mean, you only fit. I mean, obviously we have historical DNA data that proves it's right that he's only 50% Greek. Yeah, but that's a mix.
But we'll go with Greek.
We'll go with Greek because they're very prideful.
I want to do this to my son to see what hodgepodge comes up on his DNA.
I know that I'm 50-50.
Yeah, 50.
I'm 50-50.
You took a DNA test? You took a DNA?
50% coffee, 50% cocaine, 100% pure Colombia, baby.
But it's impossible for you to be 100% Colombian.
Yeah.
It's physically impossible.
All right, bro. Listen, it just killed the punchline already. So got it. Let's move on. Next slide.
I mean, it was funny, Julian,
wow,
but you're wrong.
On my Cheerios again.
You're wrong. You're wrong. Yeah. But that, yeah, that's but anyway, so yeah, so I found that experience. Did you find any relatives from that? Have you found anybody?
So it keeps on sending me emails on who like third cousins and all this other stuff, and from like the Netherlands or Germany and all these other places. And someone did reach out to me, but I'm just like too scared to send him a response because I'm like, yeah, I don't know you.
Was it the African? Was it the African prince who lost all his family and looking to give all his inheritance? Because I got that email.
Like a prince or something. Nah, I'm good. I'm like, yeah, that's good to know. You know who I am, but yeah, I don't know you.
Yeah, I had a few people reach out to me from it. So I have a really big family. Like my dad had 22 brothers and sisters, and my mom had
holy moly
from same parents, same grandpa, same grandma.
God bless America.
Yeah,
that TV, man.
My dad said they didn't have no TV back in those days on the island. So yeah, so my dad 22 brothers and sisters, and then my mom had 9 brothers and sisters from her parents. But then my grandfather was a man whore, and he had children like sporadically throughout the United States. So it's actually kind of interesting because my mom just found out that she had another half brother like 5 years ago. She found out. So I did the DNA test more just to find out like really like where like we came from and stuff like that. But then I started getting people. So I had one person reach out to me, and they actually was trying to find their real parents because they were adopted.
Oh.
And
see, that's a different story though. I would respond to something like that.
Yeah. So this
like you're my third cousin.
Yeah. So I mean, like it was interesting because this person, I think they might be my second cousin. So it was like close. But then she's asking me questions, and I'm just like, you're gonna have to narrow this down for me, sweetheart, because I literally like you are probably like my 600th second cousin. And I was like, I have a grandfather that literally slept with anything with 2 legs. Like we're still finding out that we have like I have other uncles and stuff roaming around the country. Like, so I felt bad because she really had no clue. She doesn't know what state she was born in. She just has like paper documentation and stuff like that. So, and honestly, she doesn't even look like my family has really strong genes on both sides of the family. Like you could tell, like when you look at a picture of us, you're like, damn, y'all related. Like she doesn't look like anybody. So I don't know. So it was tough, but every so often I still get somebody text me, hey cuz, and I'm like, let's chill out, pump the brakes. How about you start off with hello, my name is John, because you're not we're not family. So I see that's definitely something that it's interesting, and it's even more interesting that they have so much information on you already,
Right?
and all because of blood. It's weird. I mean, whatever.
It's
I mean,
pretty scary.
yeah,
Yeah,
especially
I
when you
mean,
could just
if it was
Google
like a
someone.
first or second cousin, yeah, I'll respond. But when you get down to the line, you know, possible third, fourth, fifth cousin, I'm like, I'm not trying to make a friend here. I was just trying to figure out where my roots were, and that's it.
Julian, are you worried there's some illegitimate child out there of yours floating around in Colombia somewhere? Papi?
Oh my god, that would be my luck too.
My gosh, that would have been. Yeah,
that would be my luck
because
because
oh my gosh, what if it pops up that I have like a half brother somewhere, and I
That's
don't
what
know, right?
I asked my
barely
Or
infertile
sister or something.
well,
or,
was
I asked both my parents. I'm like, if there's something you need to tell me, now's the time, because I put my 99.99 and I got me one of these DNA tests. It was pretty funny. That's why I think it's cool. I think they give you some really cool data also on there. Like they tell you that you're susceptible to like nearsightedness, or if you're allergic to certain foods, or if you have Neanderthal, like, or if you come from like Genghis Khan's.
do you
Huh? No,
do you
actually I don't.
because those eyebrows, bro.
Son, that's why I thought for sure they would be like, you're Cro-Magnon for sure. But
the thing is, you know, it's a pretty good possibility that everybody is a descendant of Genghis Khan, because
that's what. Yeah, no, absolutely. I believe I forgot what the percentage was, but I got some Khan in me apparently, and I wasn't drinking, so it's a true story. But yeah, but yeah, man. So it's I thought it was fun. You know, I suggested. I'm not. This is not a paid promotion. So go out and get your own DNA test from somebody. Whoever. So anyway, so let's get back on
Groupon. Yeah, I went out to Groupon and found something, and I was like, "This is cheap.
Absolutely."
Let's do
it. So now I'm curious. You should do it. You should do it, man. I'm telling you, it's kind of eye opening, because there's no classification. Have you ever seen that case study they did on YouTube when they did everybody's DNA test? That there were people in there. There was I think they got 40 people together, right, of all different races and religions and creeds, and they interviewed everybody. And I mean, some of these people were like outright racist. They were like, I don't like black people, I don't like gays, you know. And like they had this one white guy on there that was like trashing on he had like Polish jokes, Jewish jokes, and then what's that Middle Eastern, what's the big tension in the Middle East between Syria and was it Iran? I don't know.
Croatia?
I don't know. I don't remember, but it was like two like opposing sides that they just hate each other, and like all this stuff. And they were saying, why don't
Israel
you?
And
it was one of them was Israel and Palestine, and they were interviewing them, and they were saying, hey, so why don't you like Israelis? And then like it's like, well, we just don't, you know, like whatever. And they come to find out, they do the DNA test, and they read the statistics first. And then the white guy who was like a white supremacist finds out he has like 27% African in his DNA, right? You should have seen that dude's face. You can YouTube this. I maybe I can find it. I'll put it in the show notes. But like he's like sitting there like, I have what in me? And he's like, you're 24% or whatever. And then the Palestinian and the Israeli were cousins. They were like fifth cousins. Can you believe? I was like, damn, that's like, I was like, that shit's real, because they hate each other, and like they ended up like hugging at the end. You know, that's a feel good shit. I want to be like, that's what I wanted to hug him. But I think it's interesting. I mean, in all, at the end of the day, we're all when you cut us, we all bleed blood, right? Is that a thing?
We're all related somehow, right?
Yeah. Whatever. So let's we got way off track. So
off track.
Sorry.
No, you're good. This is ADD. This is an ADD special here. It's like squirrel buffet with me and Julian. We always go down a rabbit hole. We're actually really good when we have guests on. We usually keep task. When we're by ourselves,
Forget it.
Yeah, before we started setting limits on our podcast, it was like 4 hours later. We're like, damn. So I know when I started following you, you were really into health and fitness, and you were working really hard. I know recently you suffered an injury, but kind of talk to this a little bit. Like, what was the inspiration for the sudden change and trying to do more for yourself?
Yeah, so like I said, I was kind of done with 2019. So heading into 2020, I was like, okay, I'm not going to be that go-to person anymore, and I'm going to live the way that I want to live. Part of that was I'm going to be healthy this year. I'm going to figure out a way. I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune disease.
Yeah, it's a thyroid, autoimmune autoimmune thyroid disease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was diagnosed with that about a year after my son was born, and I started gaining a lot of weight. And they were telling me, well, you're not gonna be able to lose weight. I started going to a naturopath. I went to doctor after doctor and trying to figure out how to lose weight, and it didn't happen. My cousin was part of this program, reached out to her, and I said, well, you know what do I have to? I've tried everything else. So I started that program back in March. So it was right at the pandemic when I started it. And goodness, I did. I think had I not, I would have probably still been at that weight. But what also changed was, okay, I'm going to lose weight, but I'm going to lose weight, and I'm doing it because I want to be healthy. I want to be healthy for my son. And I want him to see, I can be healthy. And it was a trickle effect kind of a deal.
Was your son not? Did you do it because was he having poor eating habits? Or?
No, okay. Kids will be kids.
Yeah,
yeah. Come into my stomach and say, "Are you pregnant?" Or he'd like say, "Mommy, I love your fluffy belly, and it's a good pillow." And I
so all the things that you don't say to a woman.
I mean, they speak the truth,
Yeah. Oh my God.
At that point, he was speaking his truth. He loved my belly because it was a nice pillow for him. So, but my husband would talk to him, and I said, no, don't. I don't want him to feel bad about it, because it's not. He shouldn't.
Yeah. You said he's 8 years. 8. How old is he? 8.
He's gonna be 8 next Tuesday.
Yeah, he still doesn't understand.
He doesn't. He really, it's hard, to kind of teach him how to be healthy because he wants to eat McDonald's and chips and this and that and everything, and it's like, I can limit it, or I can be like, well, let me go buy this, 5-pound bag of chicken nuggets, and I can air fry them, and they're 10 times healthier than what McDonald's will provide. I know it's not McDonald's, so he still fusses about that, but at least I have peace of mind on the air fryer. I'm giving him something a little bit healthier. We try to do snacks that are a little healthier. Trying to get him to drink water is a mission. It's something I struggle with, but yeah.
So Cynthia, going back to the Hashimoto's, I totally feel like a struggle because I have my own struggles with used to be thyroid. I don't have a thyroid anymore because I'm in remission of thyroid cancer.
Oh.
So I totally get you. They thought I had Hashimoto's 10 years ago or whatever. So I've always had a struggle with the weight. So I know I talk about it very openly here about like those struggles with my thyroid, but I think it'd be nice, like to a different perspective. Like, what kind of struggles were you going through post working out, and then when you started like really going heavy, like what challenges did you face because of your thyroid?
So with my thyroid, with Hashimoto's, I was always tired, like always. I could not get enough sleep. Even if I got like 9 hours of sleep, I would wake up tired. That was my biggest thing. And I didn't have any motivation. I didn't have that, adrenaline to do things. which was kind of weird. And I had zero libido, much to my poor husband's demise.
Poor guy.
That was poor. Yeah, that was like a huge thing for for our marriage too.
Yeah.
And a lot of it had to do because I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't feel good. I didn't look good. In my eyes, I didn't. I didn't want him touching me. It was just like.
Yeah.
After,
Well, you gotta. It starts with you first, right? Like you always want to. You always want to feel good about yourself before anybody else wants you to feel good about yourself.
Yeah. So once I started this program and started losing weight and I started feeling better, I was having, a lot more energy. 6 months down the road, I had lost, about 60 pounds.
Wow.
And I was
good for you.
I was running again. I had my lab test done again by my endocrinologist. Took me off thyroid medication.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're still diagnosed with Hashimoto's?
No. I don't have to go see her anymore.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's a thing.
It's like
I mean,
most bizarre.
I don't. That is very bizarre. I don't.
Yeah, I thought that once you. I mean, and this is just me out of pure ignorance because I don't know anything about this, but
I'm not a doctor,
I would have thought somebody with any kind of thyroid, it's a gland, and that was kind of like, this is your thing now,
right?
For the rest of your life. So wow, okay, no, that's awesome.
That goes back to the whole here, hold my beer attitude. Like, what? No, this is not going to be me for the rest of my life.
So with this change, I mean, that you've been on 6 months.
It's almost a year coming up in March.
It's almost a year. Yeah, it's almost going to be a year. Other than the, how do you say it again?
Hashimoto's.
That guy, Hashimoto's. Was there any other, because of and this is because I go up and down, my weight is, I've always struggled with that, that because, you saw me all the time, but, growing up in high school and stuff like that. But I mean, were there any other things? Because like you right now, you went back to running, you kind of did something to your knee, right?
Yeah. So my knees are pretty bad. From the military, from running, they told me my left knee, I have a torn meniscus. Having all that weight, that's a lot of pressure on your knees. Losing that weight, I was able to run again. However, I am like the clumsiest person known to mankind. And I have fallen, I don't know how many times. I mean, I started hiking and I started running the mountain, like running up and down the mountain, hiking. I bought actual hiking trail shoes to run. But yeah, I fell back in November 21st. I remember this because it was the 4 Peaks Challenge. It was, to hike 4 mountains, and I was running and I fell hard and I kept on hiking because I'm like, I'm going to finish this. I don't care.
And it was a torn meniscus.
We don't know what it is. I went to the doctor finally.
I don't know. I don't have much confidence in your doctors at all.
Well,
doctor's
no. This is my
no more Hashimoto's, but we don't know what the fuck is going on with these.
She's they're throwing holy water on the Espírito Santo.
I'm like, it'll heal itself.
I'm going to this doctor. We're just gonna rub the eggs. Sana sana culito de rana. Sana sana culito. Mira.
Some Vicks and some Windex.
Spray some Windex on it. We're good.
That's crazy. So you finished the race.
Went to the doctor. No, the thing is, I finally went to the doctor on Tuesday.
Okay.
For the fall I had in November, because my knee is not getting better.
Damn, and people be talking shit about men that we all like walking around like it don't hurt.
See, and I got to give you so much props because had I been doing that 4 Peaks Challenge and I would have fallen, I would have been like,
special guest.
Yes. I'm glad I wasn't the first one because maybe I won't even have anybody here. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, Mamita, I'm working right now. Can we talk later? Oh my goodness.
It's okay.
Hello, world live. Say hello to everybody live on Facebook. Say hi. Okay. Bye, baby. I'll talk to you in a moment. Okay.
So a couple things. So first, I don't run because I hate fucking running.
Here come all the laugh emojis too. Now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm a big dude.
Orlando. I am the queen of excuses.
No, this is not an excuse. I don't fucking like to run. It's not me being lazy. Like running is painful for me. Like I have tendonitis in both my knees from playing baseball and being a catcher for most of the time, right? But like I was also I've been since I've been having issues with my thyroid, I've been flirting between 280 and 300 pounds. So that's a lot of weight. So if I go running, like I feel it instantly. Like I'm like if I run for 20 minutes, I'm icing for like an hour, right? But I was back in the day, I used to do it just to try to like continue getting fit, and then I ended up getting plantar fasciitis.
Ooh,
that bitch hurts.
It does.
That's not fun, right? So then I was starting to accept the fact that I was just fat and I couldn't run, and then, so I would just walk everywhere. So I give you props for doing that stuff. Like people always like I did a 5K with my brother just so I can say I did a 5K, but I did not. I don't find it like stress. Some people like, oh, I run to clear my mind, and like the entire time I'm running, I'm like, this I just can't wait to get fucking home. Like I don't want to be running this playlist. I don't even want to listen to this song no more. Even like who listens to this song while they run? Like like those are the things that run through my mind. Like I don't like it.
It's any kind of exercise to me, even yoga is it clears my mind. It changes my mindset for the entire day. I can give 1,000 excuses way before I run, and I'm like the whole time I'm like, just put your shoes on and get out there. Like,
well, now you got a bad knee, girl. So that's an excuse. So no more running.
I have a bad knee because I fell on a mountain running.
So you stop. You stop
with me. With my luck with physical activity, I would have fallen at that mountain run, and then I'll be like, you know what? I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah.
Come get me.
Someone
bring the helicopter. Bring the helicopter. Bring the helicopter.
Bring a donut and a cup of coffee. I'm over.
My doctor on Tuesday told me absolutely no running and no
doctor.
Hiking for 30 days, and I'm looking at her like, but what if it's like a little hike, like not a big tough mountain? And she's like, no,
man.
She's like,
there's a lot of stress. That's flat surface. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. That doctor sounds smarter than whoever cured you of Hashimoto's disease.
Right.
So listen to that guy.
Orlando and I agreed to the same activity camp. Well, except he does the Peloton now, but our exercise consists of 3 things: is running, jumping, and jogging. We run our mouths, we jump to conclusions, and we jog our memories. That is it.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, it's hard. It's hard because I
hate Pelotons.
They tell me I can't do it, so now I really want to do it, and I'm just like.
Well, why don't you? You should, but you can do a.
Listen to your body.
Yeah,
I'm listening. And I
apparently not
races, and I went for a walk today. I purposely wore my non-running sports bra because if I don't wear my running sports bra, then my back will be all jacked up. So.
I laugh because not many women.
He said, Cynthia, haha, an apple a day keeps the boob implants away. And I go, yeah, haha, Julian. So
you were making fucked up, stupid jokes back then too, bro.
Pretty much.
40 years later, same guy.
I'm consistent. Consistent.
But you could do other things. You can, like, if you're looking for car, you can probably do like a low impact bicycle ride, on a flat surface.
I don't have a bicycle. I do. One of my cousins that she lives just a mile up the road, she has a Peloton, so I might just go to her house and do the Peloton.
You should. They have a bunch of low impact.
Aye.
Low impact.
I know. I'm not supposed to stand on the bike. I'm supposed to just stay seated.
I did a low impact. I do 2 low impact rides a week. Honestly, and then anytime my sciatic starts to like act up, I'll do a low impact ride also. Honestly, low impact rides for me are like meditation. Like I work on breathing, my breathing techniques, and I try to clear my mind as much as possible when I'm on the bike. Julian gets on.
Look at Julian's face.
Yeah, because he doesn't like Julian.
He doesn't like not even the mention of meditation.
Meditation, no. You know why? Because he is not comfortable what's inside of his mind.
You know, I actually did a
no, you don't want to open that door.
Second meditation before our podcast today.
Mm-hmm.
Just to clear my mind, just to get over the day that I already had, not to bring it in here. I love meditating. I started meditation in May of last year.
Okay.
Like fully embracing it. And I started with a 5-minute meditation, a guided meditation. And now I'm up to, 30 minutes in the morning and before I go to bed.
You know, Angie says she doesn't understand meditation either. So, a lot of people don't understand meditation. And honestly, the people are usually pretty quick to clown on meditation. I started meditation because I was having some serious anxiety after I had cancer. Like, I could not, the level of tension that was in my body, like from my neck, my shoulders, my lower back, because I was always like, I felt like I should probably describe what I'm doing, but I always felt like I was like stiff at all times. Like, and I remember I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast, and they had, I can't remember his name. I've mentioned him a couple times on the podcast because I'm horrible at names. But so this guy comes on, he's talking about meditation, and Joe Rogan talks about how he meditates, and they brought up a good point about self-awareness and understanding your body and like your physical, like how you are physically, and how when you meditate, it brings your attention to certain areas of your body that you might have not noticed before. And I'll tell you, if you carry a lot of tension in your body, right? And most of us probably do, right? Because especially now, we're all sitting at a desk nowadays. We're all trying to teach a kid, something, right? Because we become teachers, stresses from day to day. Like, the one thing that I instantly realized was how much tension was in my head. And a lot of people say that I can't clear my mind. The purpose of meditation is not to clear your mind.
No, I never sit there and my mind clears.
I can't tell you how many times I've meditated and I'll be like, damn, there's some leftover pizza in the refrigerator. Yeah. like that's what, but then I start remembering things. Like, I've gotten some content ideas for this podcast through meditating. I've put together presentations for work, because I was able to just push. It's kind of like blocks, right? Like you have a bunch of blocks in front of you and you want to get through the blocks, and you kind of deconstruct them down to move them away, and then you build them back up, and you kind of just move everything around. And the biggest thing that I can tell you now is that when I'm really tense, or I can't sleep, or if I'm really stressed out or angry, if I sit down for like 5 minutes, I can legitimately breathe my way out of my tension. And that's pretty fucking cool. Like, it took me a solid 2 years to figure out really how to accomplish that. But, I think it helps me out a lot. And I always tell people, I've been trying to get Julian it's been a year. We're almost at our year anniversary, and he still won't.
Yeah. I have a meditation teacher. Mm-hmm. Now I do. She is amazing. And I can call her up and say, I need help. Like, I can't get out of my funk today. Like, help me, Mm-hmm. So I do have a meditation teacher. So Julian, she's Colombian, you want to talk to her.
Bro, I don't know how many.
What's her name?
Her name is Karen, and I'll send her information to you, but she is an amazing meditation teacher. I can't think of how many times she's already helped me, just even in my marriage. because, you get frustrated with your spouse. They keep on doing things that they don't take out the garbage, even if you put the garbage in front of their door and you're like, take it out for the love of God. I have many other things that I need to do. It's like, why didn't I just take out the garbage and be happy? Instead I had to be petty and put it in front of his door.
You should have just took it out.
I could have just taken it out. Yeah, exactly. But no.
And then you could have alleviated the whole argument by just taking the trash out yourself.
Listen, it's a struggle every day. I'm not perfect, but
no, you're good.
We get like that. We get into, I'm like, why am I doing this every day? Because I'm teaching our son. I still have to work. I'm trying to, cook and maintain the house and keep it clean and doing this and the things go on in my head of all the things that I'm doing and checking that list off, and I'm like, what is he doing? Nothing.
We just sit in the couch and we're scratching ourselves,
right?
And we do nothing.
So yeah, she's helped me out a lot. I mean, and
hey, yeah, but okay. So hold on a second. All right, I got to put my foot down on this one, because then if we get up and we say, hey, babe, what do you need me to do? What is then the answer? Find something to do. Well, fuck it.
Anything, everything in this house.
I'll go back. I'll go back to the couch and continue scratching my nuts. I mean, that's something. Be specific.
Talk to me like I'm stupid.
Talk to us like we're stupid. Exactly.
To me, it's just the garbage, because look, the garbage gets full, and then I see something that he wants to throw away, and you know what he does? He just puts it on the counter next to the garbage because the garbage is full.
Oh, I won't do that. I would lose it.
Oh my God.
I'd be doing this I'd be doing a podcast with a knife in my jugular.
I mean,
but he won't pick up a sock,
So it's like one of those loose socks.
But sometimes the socks. But I got a bad back. I can't be bending down to pick up the socks. You know what I mean? Sciatic starts to flare up. That sock is staying there.
Right.
My health or the sock.
This went from podcast to confessional real quick.
I'm waiting for my wife to come in and kick the fucking door down. Pick up your socks.
Oh my! Well, yeah. What is it with men and socks?
Apparently, don't look at me. I put my socks in the hamper.
Well, Julian, you've also been married like 18 times, so I'm pretty sure you're tired of them all telling you the same fucking thing over and over again.
Yeah, this is true. Hey, listen. Learn eventually.
We you know what it is. I get distracted very easily, like with my mind. I don't know why. Like, so if I'm with the kids, like for instance, right? So we all have kids. How many times like you walk into the bathroom while they're taking a bath and you step in a fucking puddle of water and you just trying to figure out how in all the sciences you cannot keep water inside the bathtub is filled up this high. And there's still about like this much water outside of the bathroom floor. So that I can't leave the children unattended, right? So I take my socks off and I just put them to the side. I just forget. So whatever. The way I see it, it could be worse. I could beat her, right? I could be abusive husband.
Wow. Okay.
Oh my God.
Deal with the fucking socks, damn it. Write me the hate mail. Line it up.
Oh my.
Meditation.
I'm kidding.
I don't know how well it works for Orlando.
I'm talking.
Yeah.
I'm talking mad shit.
Yeah,
so,
right. You say that in front of your spouse.
No, she's probably watching live right now. When I go upstairs to go to bed, she's like,
remember when you said this on the podcast at 59?
Nah, she won't even warn me. Whatever it is gonna come hot and heavy, and it's gonna hurt. I tell her this is all for entertainment. This is entertainment. Yeah. I'm just trying to get more viewership and likes and emails. Anyway. So
meditation, it works.
Meditation works.
My son will meditate with me too. So
that's good.
Julian,
that's good.
If a 7-year-old can meditate, you can meditate. And I can't get my husband to meditate. One of these days I'm just gonna put my well, no. I have a thing now. when he gets in bed, I'm gonna put the meditation thing on, and the guided meditation. So he's just gonna have to listen to it before he goes to sleep.
At night, the only thing that I listen to is either the sucking, the blowing sound of a CPAP machine, or if I don't have it on, the wife saying, "Put it on, or I'll let you swallow your tongue."
So you honestly can reload that CPAP machine, like you can actually relax enough to go to sleep.
I hate
thing
that
on your face.
I hate that thing.
Do you struggle to fall asleep? Because I'm supposed to wear one.
All right, so I have the full face one. My problem with it is that it dries me out real bad.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like in the middle of the night trying to go like this, and then it's set on digital to specific pressure. But if I do this, then all of a sudden it just goes all over the place, and it's annoying, and I'll just take it off, and I'm like, fuck it, dude, I'll die.
I used to have the nose pillow ones that it just literally sits in your nose like this, and literally I was sleeping and I shifted, and in the middle of the night, and the whole thing went up, and it was like in my eye.
Oh my God.
And it was like blowing air into my eye. I was like, what the
yeah,
it's a nightmare.
And it does that too. And then
just lose 60 pounds. It's way easier to
that's probably gonna do that. And
you know what?
And my thing, I have a real phobia. I have a real bad phobia because I know that, I mean, I clean it, I change out the tubing, but there's all those nightmare stories about all that bacteria. So I'm like, oh.
So Julian, 60 pounds
60
and
pounds.
Meditate, whichever way you want to spell it, bro. Just do it.
Hey, I will give you Karen's information.
And
I figured,
Colombian speaks
their language, we'd be good.
I think you should do it, Julian. You've been saying you're gonna do it, and you punk out.
Yeah,
you're gonna call me out.
Really
because you a punk. This is like punk bitch status right now, bro. Yeah. Like literally, it's been a year. Episode 5, I think, or 6, we talked about you meditating, son, and we're in episode 36. It's time to start calling you out, bro.
Yeah,
you need to get on it.
Do it. You can do it.
2021 goals, bro. Hashtag.
Oh my God, I think I'm losing you guys' reception.
So, talking about 2021. So we're in a new year. Cynthia, you've shared with us that you have a new project coming on. So you and your husband are starting a podcast.
Yes.
Give us some high level. What's going on?
High level. So we're gonna call it Prato Logic because
who?
What?
Prato. That's our last name.
Oh, Prato.
Oh,
Cradle. I thought you said
cradle. I'm like, you're gonna have to elaborate on this.
Prato.
Okay.
Prato.
Oh, it's
Logic.
Okay.
Prato Logic. Okay, go ahead.
The shit that comes out of my husband's mouth sometimes. I'm just like, what did you just say? Like, did you just really hear yourself? Like, it just, and he will go on and elaborate and really believe his truth. And I'm just like, I'm not the only one. One of his friends was over here the other day. We were watching football, and then he just went on and on about his Prato Logic about the football game. And then his friend even said, do you even hear yourself? I'm like, yeah, he does. Trust me, he does. So we're going to start this podcast.
I'm intrigued.
I'm a Prato too.
Me too.
I'm very intrigued.
Yeah.
I'm a Prato too. So it's my logic too. So it's kind of like free marriage counseling for us,
Okay. That's a good way to look at it.
Maybe our logic resonates with other people. And they're like, oh my God, they're just like us. And this is helping us too. So, and I hope it's going to be funny because it's so funny. Everyone's always like, you guys should just go on and do this. And I'm like, and he's like, well, I'm going to listen to your podcast that you're going to do today. And I'm like, yeah, when are you going to listen to the podcast? Just like you're going to meditate, and never do it. And
damn
stuff we go through.
Bro, I hope you listen to this. If you're listening to the podcast, I feel for you,
We're
man.
going to start it on Super Bowl Sunday.
I'm not listening.
I won't be listening.
Well, no.
Oh, it's not live. You're gonna record it.
First one, but I'll post it later. But,
okay.
Okay. Then I'll listen.
Because we're also driving. We're going to Lake Havasu this Sunday for my son's birthday. He requested for his birthday he wants to go to a hotel, so we're going to a hotel.
Okay.
And my husband seems to think that we need to drive there and be like 4 hours early because the Super Bowl is gonna start. And I'm
smart
like,
kid.
Wait a second. I go, the Super Bowl doesn't start till like 4 p.m. here. Why do we have to be there at 11? I don't get it. And then he's like, well, because I have to get ready and prepare myself and we have to see where we're going to be and this and this and that and that. And I'm like, where's this planning coming from? But when I need something done,
here we go. The garbage.
The garbage.
So I could already tell this is going to be really interesting. If next time we're going to have both of you guys on the show once you start. So that should be pretty interesting. I think it's interesting when couples get together and they do podcasts like that. Like they have, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised to see how many people are like, yeah, that happens. I mean, look, we just talked about garbage cans and socks and all of a sudden we were talking about health and wellness and nobody said shit on the comment board. You mention one sock, every goddamn woman in Facebook land is like, oh, fucking assholes can't pick up their socks.
There's something definitely wrong with you.
Everybody's getting anxiety.
Gifts everywhere in the house.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a gift to show our appreciation. Just sprinkle them here and there, right anywhere.
And then it's
you're being set free, just like in Harry Potter. He got ended with a sock.
Man, I really hope she's not listening to this podcast. She's gonna fucking kill me.
Thank you. But actually, I wanted to bring up an interesting point when you were talking about doing your podcast with your husband, saying that it was going to be like free marriage counseling for you. And believe it or not, that's probably going to work because we've said this on this show a lot of times that, whenever we air out all our demons, which we have a lot, it's actually been very therapeutic for the both of us.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, the thing is, my husband and I, we did start marriage counseling last year. And not because we were thinking of separating or getting a divorce or anything like that. It's just that and our marriage counselor told us that, it was happening a lot with COVID. We were put in a situation where we're now all of us in the house together all the time, 24/7. Before I used to go to work, or he would go to work and the kid was in school. And now we're all in the same house trying to live all together. And the communication just imploded or exploded.
Both, maybe a little bit of both.
We didn't have any communication. It was just weird. And it was just like, no, we need to fix this. So we started seeing a marriage counselor and he did help, but then coming into this year, we're like, let's just do this podcast and see what it will happen and how it goes. We've heard some people say, you need to do something like this. So I really want to do it. I just need to get him on board. He's so technology stupid. And so I'm doing all the legwork and all the work. And I'm like, you just need to show up and talk. That's all you need to do. Like we're having our conversation. And he's like, no. I have to really see I have to listen to somebody else's podcast first. I'm like, well, it's not going to be the same thing as ours because it's totally different.
No, but you can learn a lot because honestly, one of my pre-game rituals before I record this podcast is I always listen to a podcast at least about an hour before I record. I don't know why I do it, but and honestly, my what's the word I'm looking for? The categories of podcasts I listen to are like so broad spectrum. Like I listen to talk shows, podcasts, sci-fi podcasts. I listen to sneaker podcasts. I listen to baseball podcasts. Like
a sneaker podcast.
Yeah, the sneaker podcast about sneakers, podcasts about men's fashion. I listen to,
I can see that.
Okay, whatever. I like to look pretty. Like I understand what the. And you know what? Maybe we should. Angie said a sock podcast. God bless you, Angie. Thank you so much.
It's like up on the shelf.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Tomorrow,
the sock podcast. Actually, I think they do have a sock podcast. It's called Sock Jig. I read across it, but I like to consume a lot, right? So, there's something that could be learned because I always listen to things and I'm like, this sounds horrible. Why are they talking about stuff like this? And then sometimes I get ideas just from listening to other people's podcasts, like how they break up their segments or the intros, and I'm like, oh, can I do that? Or whatever the case may be. So I think it's this one podcast I listen to. I just started it. I don't remember the name, but he records 10 minutes every day, and then he airs it on the 7th day, and it's interesting because it's like he's talking about his whole life, like for the week to week. It's weird, but it's remotely fascinating. So you should let him listen to some of it because it kind of shows him that you could be whoever you want to be.
Right.
And honestly, one of the biggest things I like about podcasts is that most times people who are on there, it's like their genuine life. Like you're not rehearsing anything, what you see is what you get on this podcast, right? Like Julian and I,
trust me, we're not going to rehearse any of this.
Yeah.
It's going to be this off the cuff.
You should have when we do podcasts without our guests, right? We usually have an outline of what we want to do. Don't get me wrong. There's been times where I'm like, this is what we're going to talk about. Bang, bang. Let's go. And Julian's like, okay, I guess that's what we're going to talk about. But, but other times like Julian's gotten like notes upon notes upon notes of shit from me and we'll go back and forth during the week and stuff like that. So there is some preparing. I think you'll find that after your 10th episode, you're going to be like, what the fuck are we going to talk about? Because that's always the big struggle. Like, what do we talk about? Like, we don't want to keep regurgitating that same information. And you really get engrossed when you start seeing the analytics where all of a sudden you get like 100 new listeners. And then all of a sudden the following week you go down like 10 listeners. And you're like, where did those 10 listeners go? Maybe they didn't like what we talked about. How do we get them to come back? So you'll get more ingrained, but it's good that a husband and wife, in a house with children, I'm sure there's endless things that you guys can talk about.
Oh man.
You should start every time that you start, you should start with Paul. Did you take out the trash? And then go from there.
Well, where did you leave your socks today?
That is a great fucking. Honestly, Julian, you don't really have much marketing and branding ideas, but that's a fucking great idea. You should really start that. Every podcast ask a question like that. That'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
High five, Julian. High five. Oh. But anyway.
That would be fun. Yeah. So that we're hopefully this coming Sunday because we're gonna get there 4 hours early to be on time for Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
So I'm going to pre-warn you. TikTok. The first episode probably won't go as planned.
And that's
our first episode.
I think that is kind of what I'm going for because it's our dynamic. Nothing ever goes as planned. So
ours was really bad.
Okay,
we never aired it.
Our first episode was never aired ever.
You did it, right?
Oh yeah, we did it.
Yeah, we did it, and we felt great about it until we heard it.
Do it.
And then we listened back to it, and we were like,
"That was so funny, man." I'll never forget. Like we sit down, we didn't have mics or anything. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. Literally, we went from one conversation to like 5 days later recording a podcast, and we had like gaming mics and whatever. And I honestly, the episode was great. Julie and I were laughing. We were kicking it up. Like it was perfect. But then you know, it was, you know, we usually record like 8, like this time, 8:30 at night. And we hung it up for the day, whatever. And then I was editing the podcast and I sent it to him and I'm like, this shit sucks. And he goes, no. And I'm like, wait till you listen to it, man. And he listened to it. He called me, goes, yeah, this shit sucks. This shit sucks. But
Sorry, now I have my critter coming.
No, you're good. You're good. So yeah, so I'm really excited to see how it comes about.
Me too. I think it's going to be fun. So
do you guys plan to
too? Eventually,
well,
you know, like other couples.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask you. Like
couples, I even want to have like, you know, we have single friends. So I'm like, let's bring single friends and pray to logic that. So
that's what I was gonna say. I was like, it'd be kind of. I haven't seen couple podcasts invite other couples.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of couples. I mean, they and they're all different dynamics. They're definitely not like us. So, I would love to bring them on. You know, if you guys want to come on, with your spouses, we can do like a whole, you know, podcast around that. That would be fun.
Let's go. My wife wants to. My wife has been itching at the bit to be on the podcast, but I know she's gonna talk shit about me and about me leaving. Socks.
That's what we're all gonna do.
Leave socks. No, I wasn't messing around. I wasn't messing. But
yeah, on the show,
Julian's like always like, let's get her on. Come on, let's do it. And I'm like, we gotta get a good subject to talk to her about, because I know she's gonna come on here and she's just gonna want to talk about all the socks that I leave around the house.
We'll get a good topic going.
All right.
On the whatever we're going to talk about, you know.
Yeah.
We have, you know, we can talk about our kids, or you know what our dynamic is like, not all living together in the same house, you know.
Absolutely.
You know, I know
everybody.
Your daughter has, you know, autism, and how is that for her? You know, like, do you tell your kids about COVID? Do they understand?
My daughter doesn't. I mean, from a conversation, I'm trying to think. So from the way you and I perceive COVID, no.
Right.
But she wears a mask. She wears a mask, and we tell her that, you know, you wear a mask because you got to protect yourself. You don't want to get anybody sick, or you don't want to get sick, because she knows what it is to be sick, because she's been sick before.
Right.
She washes her hands. Like, it's just part of being clean and stuff like that. Like, you know, like we try to get her from not touching things, you know, because it's not appropriate to just touch everything in the fucking world or whatever. Right. My son, he's 3 and he's like, fuck it. Wall, lick the wall, whatever. He's like, I'm fine. My immune system is killer. But you know, like, you know, it's hard because they have to wear a mask, but they never had to wear one before and things like that. So I think she understands that there's a reason for it. She just doesn't understand the concept of a pandemic, you know?
Right. I mean, it's been hard with our son too. I mean, we do a lot of things. I try to keep him active and everything, but the socialization definitely has gone down.
Yeah. And it's bad over there in Arizona too, right? Like, it's...
I mean, we're number 1 in the world in COVID.
It's about time someone took it from Florida.
Yeah. Arizona said, hold on, we can't be left alone over here. So, but everything's still open. You know, it's not like anything's really closed. So we do, I mean, he goes to soccer and he does jiu-jitsu, and I hike with him. Well, now I can't, but you know, we're trying to keep him active and still social with other kids. You know, they have that Facebook kid messenger thing, so he can talk to his friends from school, even though he was going to a public school. Now he just does online, but he still communicates with those kids. But it's still hard because I'm like, let's go to the store just to get him out of the house. But it's like,
we do that a lot too.
I base my day, like, if I want to go to the store, I'm like, do I really want to wear a mask, you know, today? No, I don't really want to put something on my face. You know, I'm breaking out. So.
Yep, I feel you.
That's how I deal with my day to day. I'm like, do I want to go out and put on a mask today? If the answer is no, then I'm staying home.
That's so funny, man. That's crazy. It's crazy how life has changed so much in this short period of time.
But I'll go hiking, but now I can't. But because I don't have to wear a mask hiking, I don't want to go to the gym because I don't want to wear a mask while I'm working out. I mean, I can barely breathe on my own.
Yeah.
Give me now I have to wear a mask. No, and that's not going to happen. So, that'd probably be one of the topics that we talk about because his perspective on it is way different than mine. Way different. We're complete opposites. I'm very structured and organized, and he's very
not.
Let's see how the day goes, or he's very laid back, and I'm just like,
that's it. Yeah.
Sometimes let's go, but no.
Everybody's in a rush to go nowhere.
Yeah. So.
Hurry up and wait. Military, right? Hurry up and wait.
Hurry up and wait.
Yeah, no, man. I'm very organized as a professional, but when it comes to my personal life, I'm like, we'll get to it.
Organization has kept me sane this whole year, and having a structured plan every day. If I didn't have that, if I didn't have all my planners and my wall calendars and everything going, written down, I think I would have lost my mind. But I mean, I can't work at the same time that have him in trying to teach him in school, and I'm not teaching him. He has a teacher, but I have to sit there
and make sure he's in learning.
Pay attention, please. They go, oh, you didn't listen to that book, because he presses play, but then he's like messing with the dog, or he's messing over here, and then I'm just like, do you even know what the book is about? Yeah. Okay, tell me about it. Okay, he presses play again.
Well,
just pay attention. If I leave, he doesn't do it. So it's hard.
The struggle is real.
Yeah, I wake up at 5 a.m. just so I can get some work done before he wakes up and have to do school, and then I'll do breaks in between just so I can work while he's on his break, and I can focus on things. So I have to have that structure and that organization. That's just, and I do it every single day. I wake up, get my coffee, I meditate, I work out, start my day.
At least you get it going in the right direction every morning. You have to you gotta have a launching point. You need your time. You need your time too.
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
My time. I now started taking baths twice a week, and I'm like, don't bother me. I'm going and taking my bath, taking my phone in there. I'm gonna play a game, and I'm doing my Epsom salt bath for my knees. And that's what I'm really doing it for my knees. But it's also self-care.
Low
self-care is
impact rides.
I'm trying, impact. Orlando.
You haven't tried yet. You haven't tried yet.
And it's funny because I will do yoga every day, and I'm like, that's super low impact, right? But now you told me that I can't do high intensity interval training, I can't run, and I can't hike. And that's what I really want to do now. And it's like,
low
I want to show
impact.
I want to show you that I can, but
but then when you keep messing around, your next high intensity training is gonna be you going like this on a wheelchair, fucking doing laps around a.
That's what I don't want. She's like, it's either that or surgery, and I was like,
no. Yeah, we're not getting any. We're not getting any younger.
Old. You know how long that's gonna take me to recover?
Yeah, it's no joke, man. You gotta take care of the one body that you have. That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think we've been going on now for almost an hour and a half, so I think it's a good stopping point for today's podcast because we want to leave some mystery to the future. So be on the lookout, guys, for Prato's Logic podcast. As soon as you get all the information and you air the episode, let Julie and I know. We'll definitely give it a shout out on our social media channels for you. If you guys want to follow Cynthia, you can follow her at Sydney's Sydney's _Glow Up Chronicles on Instagram. We'll go ahead and it's right here. If you're watching us live, you can see it on her panel. But we'll go ahead and also put that in the show notes so you guys can follow. Yes. Cynthia, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, you guys. This was awesome.
Thank you. We can't wait. We can't wait next time. Hey, buddy.
Hey,
so next time we're gonna have you and your husband on the show to promote the podcast. So once you get several episodes in, we'll have you on the show, and it should be. I'm excited to meet this man. Very much so. All right. So guys, thank you so much for listening to us on today's episode of the Invincibly Broken Podcast. Again, if you're watching us live on Facebook or YouTube, hit the like button, give us a share, subscribe to keep up with all the information, all of our podcast information. If you guys want to catch us on the audio side, our podcasts are published on all major podcasting platforms. All you have to do is simply search the Invincibly Broken Podcast and we'll pop up there. Give us a like, share, review. You can check out our website, www.invinciblybroken.com. We can also be found on all social media. No, not really all social media platforms. A few social media platforms. You can search us on Facebook and Instagram at the Invincibly Broken Podcast. Give us a follow. If you want to follow me personally, you can follow me at Invincibly_Orlando.
And if you want to follow me personally, you can follow me at Invincibly_Julian.
Guys, thank you so right. One day I'm gonna figure out how this camera flip this right here. So guys, thank you guys again for listening. Till next week, see ya.
Bye.
Ciao.